Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Our top story, President Trump publicly declaring a war on the opioid epidemic.
Overdose deaths involving prescription opioids have quadrupled since 1999, and the Suncoast is one of many communities dealing with this deadly crisis. The order will direct federal agencies to give more grant money to fight the epidemic, but the president stopped short of declaring it a national emergency. The difference is money and scope. A national emergency would have allowed the government to tap into federal disaster relief funds. While no additional federal funding will be automatically directed to the crisis, it will allow lawmakers to increase federal funding for the problem in year-end budget deals being negotiated in Congress.
Nobody has seen anything like what's going on now. As Americans, we cannot allow this to continue.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 140 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose. And the CDC also saying that Florida had the fourth highest number of drug-related deaths last year.
And Manatee and Sarasota counties seem to be at the center of this crisis, with the highest and second highest number of fentanyl-related deaths in the state. ABC 7's Christopher Bradley joins us now live from downtown Sarasota with more on what local law enforcement is doing about the epidemic. Christopher?
Good evening. The Sarasota sheriff told us this is not a new problem. The Suncoast has been dealing with opioids for years. What is different, though, is the approach of law enforcement. They're putting a greater effort into educating the public in just how dangerous these drugs can be.
To create their own misery in life, to create their own addiction, to create that, I just don't understand it.
31 years in law enforcement, and Sarasota Sheriff Tom Knight can't figure out why someone would risk shooting up fentanyl.
It's a killer. This is not something you play with. You get addicted very easily, and it kills very quickly. So you could be an addict for one day and be dead.
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid similar to oxycodone and morphine. Its use, uncontrolled, can be deadly.
Fentanyl has replaced our oxycodones, our pills, which is what really started the epidemic, is oxycodone pills.
Since the crisis began, law enforcement tactics have changed. Instead of just incarceration, the local sheriff's offices are focusing on prevention and education. And there's some evidence to suggest it's working.
We're down 62% in our overdoses this quarter, which is a good thing, but we consider that the calm before the storm.
Just last weekend, Manatee County's Sheriff Rick Wells spoke to a crowd about helping addicts.
Making sure that those that need help, when they have no family, because as you know, families will leave them, friends leave them.
President Trump declaring it a public health emergency does open up the possibility of federal funding. Sarasota Sheriff Tom Knight says the extra federal money would be helpful.
Well, we'll use it for treatment and education. But at the end of the day, having the deputies on the street in the communities interdicting it is the most important thing for Sarasota County.
It was striking today. Sheriff Knight told us that while the number of overdoses is down, the problem isn't going to go away, at least until the drugs do. Live in downtown Sarasota, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you so much, Christopher. Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan is praising President Trump's decision to designate the opioid crisis as a public health emergency. Buchanan says it's a positive step in the battle to contain the growing problem of drug addiction. Earlier this week, the U.S. House passed a bill that Buchanan is co-sponsoring to combat the opioid crisis. He says that bill will help stop the flow of fentanyl and other drugs by providing border agents with drug-detecting chemical screening devices at ports, and more people would be able to help detect drugs being sent into the U.S. from other countries.
Well, chilly start to our Thursday morning here in the Suncoast. Felt pretty good to me. Let's get more on our weather today with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yes, it was nice, wasn't it? A lot of people having their windows and doors open today. A little chilly to start the morning off. I did see some children walking to school with some jackets on and sweaters. 73 degrees right now, though. It's comfortable out there. Sunshine, plenty of it, and the dew point temperature is extremely low at 40 degrees. The humidity at 30%, and winds out of the east at 8 miles an hour. So those winds have lost that northerly component, but still, with a low dew point like that and light winds, we're going to see some low temperatures again into the mid to upper 50s for tomorrow morning. Right now, all in the low 70s to mid 70s. Arcadia now at 75 degrees, 75 in Punta Gorda, 74 in Venice. The Gulf water temperature now cooling down to 77. Temperature forecast I mentioned is expected to drop down into for the most part across the region in the mid-50s. We are anticipating those dew points to gain a little bit tomorrow afternoon as the winds will start to shift, and especially over the weekend, some moisture will start to return. We'll have more on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The man accused of shooting and killing 2 Longboat Key Hotel employees was found dead in his jail cell, brain dead recently. When Daryl Hannah Jr. failed to appear for a mandatory hearing today, the victim's family members wanted some answers. They were told Hannah suffered a blood clot just days before Hurricane Irma, which left him brain dead. He was taken to the hospital and is now back in the medical wing of the Manatee County Jail.
The fact that he was in a hospital, and I just keep picturing him, next to his mom in a crocheted blanket, and, we never got that. We never got to say goodbye. So I guess that's my biggest problem.
They're just going to keep an eye on him, take care of him, keep him alive, and wait and see while we sit and suffer.
Hannah will likely never face a jury. We'll have more on what the next steps are in this case coming up at 6.
Police are asking for the community's help, hoping to identify a person of interest in a series of murders, all taking place in a Tampa neighborhood. Tampa PD releasing this video today showing that person of interest walking on a street very close to the first homicide around the time that the first victim was shot. The individual appears to be looking at a phone and then walking towards the scene before running away later. At this time, police say they are not saying that this is a person that this person is a suspect, but it is likely that they saw or heard something that could be key to solving these murders.
A follow-up tonight on security concerns surrounding the Suncoast High School following a reported rape by a student. The principal of Riverview High School is now telling parents and students that new safety and security measures are in place. The changes come nearly 2 weeks after an alleged sexual assault incident. A student trying to attend a football game at Riverview says on October 13th she was attacked by a man after parking her car near campus. Parents and students were not notified about the incident until 5 days later. The principal, Dr. Paul Burns at Riverview, sent out a robocall last night saying that sheriff's deputies have increased patrols around the campus and there's now additional monitoring of security cameras by district staff. Burns also says they are working to resolve communication issues.
The communication timeline of the incident is being evaluated by school district staff in conjunction with the sheriff's office for opportunities for improvement. The school district administration and Riverview High School are working collaboratively with the sheriff's office to ensure the most secure learning environment for our students.
No arrests have been made yet in that sexual assault case.
New details tonight about why a Sarasota police officer shot and killed a dog. A spokesperson for the department says the officer had no choice but to kill a pit bull at a home on 42nd Street yesterday. Officers went to the home to serve a search warrant. Police say a pit bull attacked the approaching officer and then had a police canine by the throat. That's when the officer killed the dog. The officer is not being disciplined, but a use of force documentation has been filed. Multiple people were arrested, but police have not said what charges they now face.
ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, it was kind of a mixed day on Wall Street, but with a bias to the upside, which is some good news.
Absolutely, Scott, and you may see a little more bias to the upside tomorrow. The NASDAQ was the only down arrow of the day, but after the close, key components of the NASDAQ, things like Amazon and Microsoft, announced earnings. They both looked very, very strong, but again, the market was closed, so you really won't see that reaction until tomorrow. The NASDAQ was down today. The Dow was up by 130 points at the high of the day. It was up all day. And not a bad day. Let's take a look at the figures, and impressive they are. The Dow up another 71 points, 23,400.86, a gain of 0.3% on volume of 701 million shares. The NASDAQ down today, but likely not tomorrow, down 0.1%. 7 points at 6,556.77. That on volume of 1,739 million shares. And the S&P kind of falls in the middle, up just over 0.1%, up 3 points at 2,560.40. Well, Twitter has finally figured out how to make a profit, and in fact, the stock jumped by a whopping 18% today after the company came out with much better than expected earnings. They beat on the top line of revenues, they beat on the bottom line for earnings, everything going forward for Twitter, and they frankly have had a problem making money in the past, but not so in the current quarter. The company said going forward it looks to be even more profitable, and the key is that year-over-year usage is up by more than 14%. So Twitter has been one of the struggles in the NASDAQ market, but there was no struggle today, up almost 20% in a day. That's something.
All right. And Richard, what is the latest news on Aetna Insurance?
Well, about 3:45 this afternoon, 15 minutes before the market closed, there was a rumor circulating that CVS, the drugstore chain, not the television network, CVS is likely to make a bid to buy Aetna. Everything's going on with medical and insurance. And guess what? The stock was up 12% in 15 minutes. We'll see what that does tomorrow.
Wow, interesting.
All right, Richard, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, heightened security measures for people flying into U.S. airports. What's involved in these enhanced screening measures?
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, the number of Americans with bad cholesterol continues to drop. Why that may be, coming up in Health Smart.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean, really moves me.
One.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-307-2040 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-307-2040 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-307-2040.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Well, get ready for longer waits at the airport. New security measures are going into effect today for every flight that comes into the U.S. from another country. Travelers are being told to arrive at least 3 hours early for a foreign flight heading to the United States. ABC's Lana Zach shows us what's involved in this enhanced screening.
No matter where you're coming from
If you're headed to the U.S., expect more security at the airport. The TSA is demanding that all airlines employ enhanced passenger screening. And while it applies to every flight, it may differ from airline to airline. For most, it will mean new security questions like where are you traveling and who packed your bag. It was ordered by the U.S. government 3 months ago.
Unless we all raise our security standards, terrorists who see commercial aviation as the greatest takedown will find and attack the weakest link.
Every day, 325,000 passengers board 2,100 direct flights to the U.S. from 280 different airports. At Paris's Orly Airport today, most passengers said the procedure was relatively painless.
Oh, they asked me about if we have stuff for other people. You know, they didn't ask that. Everything is ours.
I've well appreciated this new safety, I would say, process. If you have the project to strengthen this safety disposal process, I am fully in favor of it, yeah?
Travelers on some airlines may find that they receive questionnaires or additional screening of their electronic devices. And remember, these new rules are taking place for all international travelers headed to the United States, whether they're foreign visitors or U.S. citizens. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Or you can just stay home and enjoy some great weather.
Right. A lot of people are flying here, as the temperatures drop below 30 up north, a lot of people start heading down here. You can see the roads are starting to get a little more congested at times here. And that's a result of the beautiful weather we normally see.
Yes.
It's nice. 32 years down here, you can't beat it. It's nice down here. We are looking at generally fair skies right now up and down the coast. Kind of chilly out there to start the morning off. I know I was, and the Vanways of webcam showing calmer conditions out there in the waters, although rip current advisories are still in effect for beachgoers there. Keep that in mind, but those will be expiring rather soon as the winds will abate throughout the overnight. Now, low temperatures tonight will be cool once again. Pretty close to what we had this morning. It'll be maybe a degree or two above what we had this morning, but temperatures were generally into the mid-50s. Rotunda right around 57, Port Charlotte 56. Northport, you'll start off the day tomorrow at 52 degrees, so another cool, comfortable start. 53 in Inglewood, and Mayaca City at 52, Lakewood Ranch 55. Sarasota, you'll be right around 56 degrees. And in Anna Maria, because of the water being a little bit warmer there and surrounded by it, Anna Maria will be at 60 to start the morning off. Now, highs tomorrow will be back into the 80s. So we had a couple of days with temperatures into the 70s for highs. Now we'll get back into the 80s. Now, no rainfall around here. We'll stay dry, too, through Friday and it looks like through Saturday morning. And then things start to change a little bit as a system moves in from the north. Now, we are looking at basically high pressure continuing to dominate our weather right now, and that's bringing us that lighter wind, but more of an easterly flow. Around that area of high pressure, you have that flow coming out of the east, and that has a typical tendency to warm us up. So back into the low 80s tomorrow we go. Now, as far as the satellite imagery goes, you can see that front still kind of hanging out well down to our south now. And this is that colder air going over the warmer waters of the Gulf, creating these stratocumulus clouds. Street clouds are known as. You can see them right there in the southern Gulf of Mexico and offshore of the east coast of Florida. But for us, fairly quiet here, clear skies. 73, the dew point is at 40, which is really low. Winds out of the east at 8, and the pressure now 30.01 inches. That's high pressure that continues to hold steady for the most part. Here's a look at overnight temperatures as we see them. Down into the mid-50s by, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll warm up pretty quickly. By 11 o'clock, we'll be into the low 70s, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, should be into the low 80s. Those winds will be anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour, so another gorgeous day on Friday with pretty quiet conditions in terms of humidity, low humidity. Winds will not be all that strong, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. Futurecast showing some increase in cloudiness over South Florida tomorrow, but not much for us. We'll see lots of sunshine. Here's an approaching front, and we're very thankful for this cold front. What it's going to do, and what we think it's going to do, and most of the models agree, is that it's going to come down and pick up this tropical mess and carry it off to the east. And the timing of it all is also crucial. The faster it moves, the more the rain stays to our south. The slower this moves, then we're going to see a little bit better chance to see some of that rain enter into our picture. But for the time being, it appears that most of that will stay basically over South Florida through the Keys and over the Bahamas, but there is still a pretty good chance that we will see showers and storms here on into late Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Well, there's the low off the coast of Nicaragua. There's not much there. A 30% chance developing over the next couple of days, and then a 40% chance next 5 days. Still, the general trend is going to be off to the north, and then eventually off to the northeast once that front picks it up. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. Right now, it doesn't appear to be too significant, but it could bring a much better chance for some rainfall come Saturday if you combine the front and the tropical system. East winds at 10 to 15 knots, and we'll have seas running 2 to 3 feet. There'll be a moderate chop out there in the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 77. That continues to go down, and UV index will be high tomorrow at 11. High tide at 8 o'clock, and the low tide at 11:36. Sunset at 6:51. Tonight, clear, cool, and comfortable. 56 for a low. Tomorrow, sunny and plenty of it. A few clouds in the afternoon, and a warm finish after a pretty chilly start. 82 for your high. The extended forecast, then a 30% chance for morning showers on Saturday. That bumps up to 70 in the afternoon. And then it clears out of here on Sunday, and we'll turn windy and cool. High temperatures in the low 70s on Monday. And then trick or treat looks to be pretty good. Halloween, not bad. Back to you.
Hi, Bob. Thank you. Now to first alert traffic. There's a crash along I-75 right near the State Road 64 exit, and it is causing some delays for drivers who are heading north. You're seeing backup now from this crash all the way past the University Parkway exit. Look how far south that goes. So slow going on the interstate. If you're heading north tonight, you may want to find an alternative route if you can. Jacqueline.
In health news tonight, if you're looking for a reason to have an extra cup of coffee in the morning, there's some good news. A recent study found drinking 2 more cups of coffee a day can lower your odds of liver damage caused by excessive alcohol. The analysis included 9 studies with more than 430,000 participants. Researchers found that drinking 2 more cups of coffee each day dropped the risk of liver cirrhosis by 44%, and drinking 4 cups of coffee dropped the risk by 65%. Well, heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans. Every year, 790,000 Americans will have a heart attack. But as ABC's Serena Marshall tells us, a new CDC report has some good news.
Cholesterol, for many of us, a nagging number that our doctors keep bugging us about. Whether we like it or not, high cholesterol levels are one of the leading risk factors for cardiovascular disease. Medications, diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes can alter it. And now a new report from the CDC suggests that more of us are getting the message about these healthy steps. Researchers finding that levels of total cholesterol in U.S. adults have decreased since the late 90s. The rate of American adults living with high cholesterol went from nearly 1 in 5 to 1 in 8. And as for the good HDL cholesterol, the kind you want to have high levels of, researchers finding more Americans with healthy numbers in this category. This means more Americans are protected from the heart-harming effects of bad cholesterol. And while researchers aren't sure whether medications or lifestyle changes are the reason for the improvement, it goes to show that we can all take steps to improve our cholesterol. With this Medical Minute, I'm Serena Marshall, ABC News.
Coming up, an off-duty state trooper caught on camera taking action to save someone's life. Plus, a cute story you don't want to miss. Preemies in costumes will steal the show.
The Alfa Romeo Stelvio takes the modern compact luxury crossover and injects it with personality.
Every crossover should be this good to drive.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Did you know that Sarasota County was the first in Florida to be recognized as an age-friendly community? Whether you're 22 or 82, we strive to be the best place to live, work, and play. A community rich with opportunities and things to do for people of all ages. On Saturday, October 28th, we're advancing this movement with a free community event featuring live entertainment and hands-on experiences. You won't want to miss our entire community coming together for an age-friendly festival presented by the Patterson Foundation.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
I went in skeptical and came away impressed.
Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds, a segment best.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
An off-duty New Jersey state trooper did not think twice about saving a man during a medical emergency. His heroic actions captured on camera. Trooper Dennis Pelea was enjoying a Sunday off with his son at Buffalo Wild Wings when he noticed something wrong at a table behind him. The man was having trouble breathing. The trooper moved quickly, performing the Heimlich maneuver, which cleared the man's airway, allowing him to breathe normally again. His actions saved the man's life. The Pope makes a very long-distance phone call all the way to outer space. Pope Francis spoke with the crew of Mission 53 aboard the International Space Station. The pontiff thanked the men for their work and said they were seeing the Earth, quote, through the eyes of God. This isn't the first time a pope has called the space station. Pope Benedict made a similar call in 2011 when 2 Italians were aboard.
And speaking of space, a new image from NASA is giving us more insight into the climate of the red planet. Mars is freezing and rocky, fraught with tornadoes as well. And an image from NASA's Mars orbiter shows a Martian dune field filled with trails created by dust devils. Scientists have known about whirlwinds on Mars for years, and astronauts will now have to watch out for them when they visit the planet. Well, some of the tiniest babies in Boston are celebrating Halloween in a big way. A nonprofit project called Sweet Peas teamed up with Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital to turn the preemies into the cutest characters and biggest little superheroes you've ever seen. Each costume was handmade by volunteers and parents for a fun and adorable photo shoot.
It's actually a group of graduate NICU families and people who've had babies on the NICU, and so they totally get it. They know what parents need.
I think when we can look back next Halloween and say, we made it, it's going to be very special, very meaningful to look back on this photo.
Well, for these parents, life on the NICU can be isolating, and the goal of Sweet Peas is to create community and support, and things like this give them a normal experience during an otherwise stressful time, and a great opportunity for them to celebrate Halloween. How fun is it to always pick out that first Halloween costume with your kids, and this way they're able to do that and still celebrate.
I remember my daughters, and it looks like Wonder Woman is going to be a popular one, I bet, this Halloween.
I'm sure. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, as the destruction caused by Hurricane Irma becomes clearer, a popular tourist spot will soon be no more.
What's being done at the site of the Anna Maria Island Pier coming up next.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203. 800-759-0203.